Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm really excited to get started. I've got a major project that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And what that is I want to build an enclosure for my Shapeoko. It's the XL model. Right now I've got it on my little homemade bench over there. Problem is the enclosure was not going to fit on that bench, so I'm going to have to modify it. I'm going to have to pull the drawers out some, widen it, extend it, put a new top on it. Basically what the enclosure is going to be is it's just going to be a box made out of plywood. I wanted to do it real simple. I also want it to be extremely functional and well built. So basically the construction of it is going to be plywood that's going to be held together with pocket screws. It's going to have some cutouts. I'm going to put some plexiglass in it so there's plenty of visibility. I'll mount some LED strip lights on top and mount some electronics and some other things on it. I want to move my computer over next to it, mount the TV on top so I have all my controls right where they need to be, and hopefully this is going to work out. The problem is this garage is extremely small, so it's hard to work in here, especially with full-size sheet goods. So this is going to be a challenge, but we're going to get over it. So anyway, let's get started with this, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Like I said, this is simply going to be a box, and you'll have to forgive my artwork here. I am not an artist. It's going to be a box, rectangular, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Perfect box. It's going to be a box. In the most scientific way I could think of, I measured my machine and decided that it's going to have to be 50 inches wide. This is the space inside the box. On the depth, it's going to be 29 inches. So 29 inches is for the depth. And then the height, I measured, and I decided that 24 inches is plenty tall. Maybe later I'll wish I made it taller, but man, I just can't see a reason to make it any taller than that. Plenty of space for things to move. I should be able to get a small vacuum hose in there for when I get my dust boot, so it should be good to go. So like I said, regular box, and then I think what I'm going to do is on the front I'm going to face frame it with some pine, and I'm going to put in a set of double doors that open like this. And then on the side, I'll probably put a plexiglass window there, a little plexiglass window there. Of course, this will be almost completely see-through. And then I haven't decided yet, but maybe on the top I'll put one, but I doubt it because you can barely see over that 24 inches anyway. And I'd like to put the TV and a couple other things up there. So that's basically the design of it. Nothing fancy, super simple. So let's get to the store, get the stuff we need, and we'll get back here and get started. Okay, so I spared you the headache of having to watch me cut plywood and do all this moving around and stuff, but what I had to do was I had to extend this countertop to be able to fit the new box. I'm going to have to take all that stuff down, but basically the other one was 26 inches. I added 10 inches, so now I'm at, well, 9 inches. I'm at 35, and I extended it all the way over so it matched up with this one. Since I had to extend this side out, I just cut a radius here, so whatever. I also widened this so that I could add a drawer here for my computer to go in. That way I can stand here, pull it out, do all my stuff right here, and it's good to go. Fold the laptop down, push it back in, everything's good. Protected from the dust, of course, machine will be in there, so it'll be protected anyway. But next steps, basically I'm going to build a small torsion box to go on top of this, and then the box will go on top of that. The more I keep getting into this, the more I keep thinking, man, I need to do this, I need to do this. It never ends, but I'll get it done. And even if I don't make it a torsion box per se, I'm at least going to make a box maybe with one support in the middle. Maybe it doesn't need to be a torsion box, but we'll get there. Anyway, so we're going to fast forward the rest of the video. You can just watch what I do. If you have any questions, please ask. I'll answer them. Okay, so we got all our pieces cut out and we got all our pocket holes drilled. So now what I'm going to do is these pieces of plexi, they're 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to use these to do some side windows. So I got to mark out where I want them. Got to make sure they don't get in the way of the pocket holes. So I'm just going to mark them out real quick and then I'll go cut them out with a jigsaw. Okay, so we've got the holes cut out for the plexiglass side windows. We got them in. I didn't really show much of that. I'm not a big fan of cutting straight lines with a jigsaw, and I'm not a fan of cutting plywood other than on a table saw or with a circular saw. Especially this cheap plywood, it just doesn't cut very well. So now we're going to go ahead and assemble the thing. Basically what we got to do is put the sides up, attach it to the top, which is actually upside down right now, and then put the back on. We'll flip it over. I'll pop these windows out and I'll decide whether or not I want to paint the thing. Probably not. And we should be done pretty quick after that. Probably do the rest of it tomorrow, which is going to be the doors, and then I got a lot of wiring and stuff to do, but let's get this thing screwed together and upright. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do today, whew, boy, I tell you what, I'm in some pain. Getting old and having knee problems really sucks. Anyway, this thing needs some light, so I ordered some white LEDs here off of Amazon. Little roll there. And I ordered a set of these little solderless jumpers for the strip. Hopefully I got the right ones. The kit came with a power supply. It came with the on-off dimmer switch, which is kind of crappy, but we'll make it work. And then these jumpers, and basically I'm gonna be rigging this thing up to where I have 3 or 4. I don't know how many will fit with this little roll, but one, you know, going across. Hopefully I can get 4 in there. How many feet is this? Let's see, this is 15 feet. Yeah, I can get 4 in there. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now and I'm gonna get this done. Good morning. Well, last night was it's not very fun. As you can tell, I've got the lights installed. That was interesting. My dumbass installed the lights on the back and flipped the thing over and was like, "Oh my God! Now I got to redo it because the lights are supposed to go on top." So peeled everything off, and then they wouldn't stick to the top. So I took a hot glue gun to it, and man, I got it done. So I woke up this morning and decided it's time to do the doors. This is the best way I could think of to do it. These are all pocket holed. They're just butted. They're just fit in here right now. They're not actually on yet. I still have to cut the rabbets for the plexi, and then cut the plexi down a little bit. I really honestly didn't want the frames this big, but hey, it is what it is. I felt like the doors needed to be a little bit more stout in order to take the abuse of opening and closing all the time, and not worry about such thin pieces of wood falling apart or twisting or bending. It's in here pretty tight right now, and I actually like it that way because after I get the glass installed and the hinges, all I have to do is take the sander and touch up some edges until everything slides just perfect. So anyway, save you the time of having to look at pocket hole drilling and you know, all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the rabbets for the plexiglass and get the plexiglass cut down, and hopefully figure out a good way to put it in there, and then we should be almost done with this thing and be able to put the machine back in there. So bear with me and we'll get the rest of this done. Alright, so I just got back from Lowe's. Had to get some epoxy and some silicone to mount this plexiglass in here. And while I was there, I went and looked at their selection of cabinet handles. And I was going to make my own, but man, when I saw these, I thought, wow, those would look awesome. Yeah, I just couldn't pass them up. I had to get them. So we're gonna mark these out and get them mounted, and then we'll get the plexiglass installed, and get the doors installed, and hopefully from there won't be too much more. We'll be able to throw that machine back in here, and then the fun starts, cleaning the garage back up. Okay, so for this next step, I'm going to put the plexiglass into the frames. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put some epoxy on there. Not much, just enough to hold it in a few spots. And then, after that's cured enough, I'm going to put some silicone on the inside like you would a normal house window or something. Hopefully I can keep it from running out the edges. Okay, now that that epoxy's had a little time to dry, I can put some silicone around the edges there, just to seal it up and make sure there's no rattling or anything like that. And all I'm going to use is this clear Gorilla sealer. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll find out. Don't need a lot, just enough to put a slight bead there. Okay, well, we got the plexiglass in, we got the doors installed, hinges on. All I got left to do is put the little magnet latches in there. But it's a friction fit, and that's okay because they open up nice and wide all the way. And when they close, the fit is good enough where I probably don't even need them, but the magnet latches, that is. But I'm going to put them in there anyway. Anyway, that's the doors. I got to install these little side windows. I'm not really sure how I want to do that yet. Probably epoxy, but I doubt it. And then we're going to figure out cord management, drill some holes, run some cables. I got to make a slide out drawer here for the keyboard and mouse. Originally I was going to put the laptop there, but I changed my mind because the screen is just going to get in the way of everything. So I keep it over there. I don't usually work on the computer anyway. I just use the keyboard, so it'll be in the perfect spot right here. I'll pop the TV up here so I can see it and don't have to, look at an angle. I'll just be able to sit right here and do it. So almost done. Okay, well, we're getting the side windows epoxied in, and I had to improvise. I couldn't find a way to keep the windows pushed up against the frame there, so I'm shooting handheld. As you can see, I have improvised. Yeah. Okay, well, I thought people might get a kick out of that, so tripod to the rescue. Anyway, when that dries, we'll drill a couple holes for some wires, and we'll get the machine in there, and we'll take a final look. Almost there. Okay guys, well, it's Monday, day 3. I have finally finished everything. I'm going to take you on a real quick tour of everything I've done, explain a couple things that I still need to do, just some minor details, and then we'll get to the sound test. So without further ado, let's check her out. Okay, so as you can see, the enclosure is completely done. I've got my TV mounted up there, I've got my laptop. I need to shore up some cords and some wiring issues, but that's not a big deal. Had to improvise to get the TV mounted on top there, build me a little box, but we got her done. So anyway, I got my computer sitting right here. Got the machine, as you can see. Now the doors are very tight. They weren't this tight before I mounted that TV, but that TV added just enough weight to the top to kind of pull that down a hair. That's okay, I'll just do a tad bit of sanding and it should be nice and smooth, but I don't mind the tight fit. It keeps the thing sealed up. So as you can see, I've got a hole drilled down there for the router power cord. Over here I've got a little hole drilled down there for the power to the machine and the USB cable. Everything else is pretty normal. The machine's just slid in there and just sits where it's going to sit. The doors and the side windows, they're a 1/4 inch plexiglass, which holy cow is expensive. I didn't know plexi cost that much, but it's worth it though. I think it gives it a good look. And the 1/4 inch is a lot more solid than the 1/8 inch. So anyhow, like I said, I got the TV right here. My plan for today is this space down here. I'm gonna put a drawer that pulls out, and that's where my keyboard and mouse is gonna go. Make it a little bit easier to you know, just sit here and run the machine without having to swivel the TV. It does swivel though, so can move it wherever I need to. It'll even scoot back, so that's good. Anyway, this whole thing was, like you saw in the video, pretty much all pocket hole construction, 3/4 inch plywood, and then a little bit of pine to frame the doors. The lights that I used, just a cheap kit off of Amazon. I had to do my own little Franken wiring to get the thing in strips the way I wanted it to, but it all worked out in the end. It's pretty good. And the lights, they have a little dimmer switch right here. Pretty simple, pretty simple. We'll get that mounted and everything else. So anyhow, without further ado, I'm going to switch to my other camera and we're going to run this little V-carve toolpath real quick so you can get an idea of the sound.
As you can see, when I try to talk, I don't think you can probably hear me very well when the door is open. It's very loud. However, not completely silent. Close the doors, standing right next to the machine. This is with a shotgun mic pointed this direction. It's pretty manageable. Nobody outside my garage would hear much more than a slight hum, so I don't have to worry about bugging the neighbors if I want to do this late at night either, so that's a plus. That's been one of my biggest issues, is not being able to come out here and work late at night because of the sound. Now, hey, I can do it all night long, so let's check it out.
And that's pretty much going to be it. So once again, I want to thank you for watching my video. I know this video was kind of long and it kind of sucked in spots.
I got pretty frustrated making this thing. As you know, my garage is extremely tiny, and trying to cut sheet goods, plywood and whatnot, it's a nightmare. Makes a huge mess. But anyway, we got her done. So once again, thanks. Please subscribe to my channel. You know, I don't use YouTube to make money, but the few dollars that I do make on it, it helps me to, you know, create my videos, buy camera equipment to make them better and whatnot. And as you know, if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, they're going to give you the boot from making money. So that's going to be me tomorrow. Anyway, I'll still make videos regardless. Thank you very much for watching.